So then we can swing right along to the first image of Jared Leto as the Joker. Boy, I got to tell you, it's been an up and down ride for me. How about for you? Did you have are you still hanging on to your initial thought, or has it been kind of modifying over time for you too? I'm wondering maybe I'm just strange that way.
From what I gather, there has been a very mixed reaction. Many seem to be quite negative, and they really have issues with the tattoos. But as for myself, I didn't really know what to expect. I expected it to be different from what we have seen before, but in some way more close to the comics. And in a way, I think that's what we got. So I did in no way expect a Joker that looked more like Marilyn Manson than anything else, but that's what we got, and I kind of like it. I think that's a really interesting direction to go. And I look forward to see both more pictures and, of course, to see the whole performance, which I'm really curious about. So my initial thoughts haven't really changed. I'm like thinking, we have seen several interpretations of the Joker so far, and this Marilyn Manson take kind of intrigues me. So that's my initial thought, and it's my thought still. How about you?
Well, I hated it at first. I mean, I'll just be honest, point blank. I did not like it. I thought the tattoos were moronic. I think Jared Leto was hamming it up even beyond the original comic cover, which was very hammed up. But the more I have thought about it, the more I realized that they had to do something different than before. So what's the obvious thing? I mean, where they're going with their universe in general is, it seems like, in that more cynical direction, in that darker direction. So I guess a way to make the Joker more cynical would be to make him less untouchable, more harmed by the world around him, and to see him with basically prison-style tattoos all over his body, sort of an admission that, yes, I am a criminal, and no, I will never be anything different. It makes sense to me. I'm not saying I'm knocked out by it. I'm still sort of leaning in like the classic Joker direction being kind of more my favorite, but I can see why they're doing it, just at least to make it different than what they've done before. Big open question about if Jared Leto can handle this role or not. He's been a pretty good actor in the limited number of things I've seen him in, but Joker is probably going to be a huge challenge, and I am not 100% sure I want to bet that he's going to be up to it.
Well, what's interesting is that of all the live-action Jokers we've had so far, they've all been wildly different from each other. Because the first, of course, was Cesar Romero in the 1960s Batman TV series, all campy with a mustache and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Which was more of a funny Joker. And then we had Jack Nicholson as the more devious Joker, in a sense, the more planning, strategic, little bit unhinged, but essentially in control. And then we had Heath Ledger, which is, in some ways, the one Joker who is the most different from the comic source material, but the most memorable because that guy was a complete and total psycho. I remember when I first saw the first image released, I was like thinking, whoa, that guy I do not want to be in the same room with. So there we have three very different interpretations of the Joker. So that actually helps Jared Leto in that he can chart new ground and take it in a new direction that hasn't been before. But of course he's going to be compared to everyone else, most notably Heath Ledger, which I don't think he's going to be able to top. So what he can do is try to take it in a different direction. What I can see with this direction, which is slightly more deranged, or seemingly more deranged, but I can also see how this version of the Joker has some kind of charm, some kind of pull, kind of like a cult leader, and how he's able to attract followers, which is something the Joker of the comics did and still does, but we didn't really see that so much with the previous live-action Jokers.
No, he just threw around a lot of money and would hire thugs who were kind of already mercenaries.
Exactly. This Joker looks like someone who is able to have a following. He's able to take a psychiatrist designated to treat him and turn her into Harley Quinn.
Right, yeah, no, that's a good point. It'd be cool to see that. I mean, especially since this is the first time we'll see Harley Quinn on the big screen, that makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. That's also the cool thing about this. This isn't a Batman movie. This is Suicide Squad. But this is the Joker we are going to have on screen for the foreseeable future, both in Suicide Squad and in future Batman movies. So whether we love it or hate it, I think this is a Joker we just have to get used to.
One thing I wonder is if they'll even keep the tattoos on him in the movie. Because I would swear we've seen shots of him without the tattoo on his head. That seems like that would have been really obvious. Because, we kind of saw that side shot of Jared Leto earlier, that wasn't very clear. But it may have just been a stylized image. I'm not sure. I guess we'll have to see if they actually keep the tattoos. I'm not convinced they will.
I think they will. I don't think they're going to balk away from the criticism, but also I think that what we saw before wasn't the final Joker. I think what we saw was in the process of becoming the Joker, in the makeup chair, before the final layer of makeup was applied, because that's kind of like how they were promoting him. First we saw Jared Leto with long hair and everything, and then we saw him with short hair, and then with green hair, and then like the gradual transformation. But this, with the tattoos, is the first image we've seen of the finished Joker. So I'd be surprised if we didn't see the tattoos.
For more great podcasts, news, and reviews, visit our site at midnightsedge.net and follow us on Twitter at midnightsedge. Also check out our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/midnightsedge.